Hey, Planeswalkers, Mythras here. Hope you're doing well and staying safe. First off, today we got a sweet top deck coming your way. This deck, we'll talk about the main board, we'll talk about the sideboard, we'll talk about how to sideboard, and then we'll go into a best of one and best of three match, as we always do in Mythic. And additionally, Planeswalkers, this is a deck coming to us primarily from Zendikar Rising, so pretty excited about this. It's got some cool things, and we're going to go check that out here shortly. But before we do so, I just want to say thank you. As always, I appreciate your support. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Additionally, like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Stay up to date on content like this and daily videos coming your way. Also, you can keep me in mind when you check out my Untapped profile and see exactly where I'm at in full transparency in terms of the season, whether on a hour-by-hour basis or daily or monthly. That information is available for you there. And then additionally, I do have the Untapped companion app available for you down below in case you want to share your journey with me. So I love seeing that. So thank you, Planeswalkers and people that have done that. And then lastly, Planeswalkers, I am running a patron kickoff, so please feel free to subscribe to that. The information's down below in the description. I'm doing a free sleeve giveaway for those that are joining, so thank you very much. And then lastly, feel free to head into the Discord channel that I've set up. Additionally, details down below. All right, Planeswalkers, you came here to see a deck, so let's go check out the deck today. We have an Orzhov Clerics deck. It is about time that I finally done this particular grouping here, archetype. Very, very popular with Zendikar Rising. I have not done an Orzhov Clerics deck yet. And I'm happy to be doing this one because it comes to us from the Platinum to Mythic 6+ wins, and really enjoy showcasing these decks for you. Lots of unique things there, and this is a pretty cool one. Plus, I know it is a staple that people enjoy playing. So Planeswalkers, with that said, like I mentioned, I'll cover the main board, I'll talk about the sideboard, I'll talk about how to sideboard, and then we'll go play some Mythic matches. But before we do so, the naming convention is Orzhov because it's both black and white, or Swamp and Plains to give us the Orzhov Guild from Ravnica. And then additionally, it's Clerics because everything in this deck is a creature type of cleric. So ideally, this deck is most realistically what I would say kind of an aggro / mid-range deck. It's not explosive, but everything does build. It's got a lot of life gain components as well, which is great right now. If you guys checked out my mono white life gain deck, which you absolutely should, very healthy in terms of both the best of one and best of three meta, to be honest, and can really pivot and do well for you. So we'll go quickly here, give a fast flyover as I like to, because I think it's important to see what's in the deck, so that as we talk about each of the components individually, let's apply those styles, you will have a opportunity to understand holistically what things are and how they kind of align. So first off, we got Light of Hope. This works great against a multitude of decks. I like a choice. We got an instant speed here where we can gain 4 life, we can destroy target enchantment, or put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. We have Speaker of the Heavens. So this is a Vigilance lifelinker. If we get 7 more life than our starting life total, so 27, we can tap this guy down and create a 4/4 White Angel creature token. But we can only activate this ability at sorcery speed, so you got to remember that. Then we have Archfiend's Vessel. So another lifelinker. If this enters the battlefield from our graveyard, or we cast it from our graveyard, we may exile it and get a 5/5 flyer demon creature token with flying. We have a Luminarch Aspirant, another cleric here, a human one. At the beginning of combat on our turn, we get that +1/+1 counter on target creature we control. This is one of my favorite cards from Zendikar Rising. Then we have Feed the Swarm. So Feed the Swarm is a sorcery speed spell, but it destroys target creature or enchantment an opponent controls, but we lose life equal to that permanent's converted mana cost. This works really nicely in terms of both the short game and the late game. I think this card's actually underplayed quite a bit, and I'll say that because it's definitely crucial against those Yorion decks and plays really, really nicely with Light of Hope. So something that's really, really good for us to use, very situational, and can make a difference early or late game, which is pretty powerful for us. Then we got Cleric of the Life's Bond. Whenever another Cleric enters battlefield under our control, we get to gain 1 life. Whenever a creature, or whenever we gain life for the first time each turn, we get to put a +1/+1 counter on Cleric of Life's Bond. So this guy gets really big, really fast. We have Tabarak's Hope's Demise. So this is a legendary creature that's also a demon cleric. And it has lifelink as long as it has 5 or more +1/+1 counters on it. Whenever another non-token creature dies, we put a +1/+1 counter on Tabarak's. If that creature was a cleric, we may draw a card, and if we do, we lose 1 life. So works really nicely with Luminarch. We got pluses with Light of Hope as well. So some pretty interesting things that we can do with this guy, and definitely going to be a big flyer pretty quickly. Then we have Vito, Thorn of the Dusk Rose. So here again, another legendary creature, Vampire Cleric. Whenever we gain life, target opponent loses that much life, and then for 5, all the creatures we control get lifelink till end of turn. So very, very powerful there. Then we have Agadeem's Awakening. So this is our ability to pull things like Archfiend's Vessel back. So this card here is a mortal land. We can either have it come in tapped, or we can pay 3 life. Like I always like to say, that pain land. I know it's not, or shock land. So that's the first piece. The second piece here is we do have Agadeem's Awakening, which is a sorcery spell. We can return from our graveyard to the battlefield any number of target creature cards that each have a different cost. Convert mana cost X or less. So for 3 or 4, we can literally bring anything back from our graveyard, which is very, very potent and very, very powerful. And then last but not least, rounding out our main board here, we got Aura, Skyclave, Hierophant. Again, a legendary creature, a core cleric. This thing's got lifelink, and then whenever Hierophant or another cleric we control dies, return target cleric card with lesser converted mana cost from our graveyard to the battlefield. So very, very nice in terms of other ways to get a lot of these things back from our graveyard, which is pretty neat. Then in terms of our lands, we do have the modal land here, Grime Climb and Bright Climb Pathway. We got Scoured Barrens, we got a Temple of Silence, and then Savai Triumph. So this can be slightly slow here. This is nice on the cycle. We are running 22 lands, 26 plus Agadeems. You could probably go down to 20 or even 18 in terms of best of 1 if you wanted, and that should give you some other options. All right, Planeswalkers, now we're going to talk about the sideboard here. So first off, we got Shadow Spear. So equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has trample and lifelink. This is really nice in terms of finishers, getting our guys through over the top. Permanents our opponents control lose hexproof and indestructible till end of turn, which is also very nice, and we can equip it for 2. So where would I play this? One, I actually kind of like it against late game decks. Something that we can sack without losing too much value, which is really nice, particularly on a lot of the stuff that we have here early game. And then also because it is a life gain deck, it's not bad against creature-based decks, so either even in the aggro realm or even the late game realm. So those are some good spots for you. Next, Dire Tactics. Well, and then obviously if we're playing things like mono white, I should probably call it actually mono white, not bad against mono red, potentially gruul aggro. We already got a lot of life gain, like I said. Just some decent thoughts there. And then obviously anything else in terms of late game, I like the Yorion decks, the Esper Doom, anything running Doom. This could be Orzhov Doom, this could be Martyr Doom. I don't mind having Shadow Spear on there. Dire Tactics, here we get to exile target creature. If we don't control a human, we lose life equal to the creature's toughness. I like this in both aggro and mid-range. Mid-range particularly if they are running more creatures. If not, then you probably don't need to run Dire Tactics, but it's not bad against Kroxa decks still. You just need to be a little bit more patient, and then know that if you don't have that creature on the board, you're going to get hurt pretty badly based off its toughness, which would be 6 damage. So you just got to pay attention to that at times. But again, anything like Boros Knights, Mono Red, Boros Warriors, which we see a lot of now again, mono green, food, Shadow Spear like against food decks too, so a lot of people forget about this. Permanents our opponents control lose hexproof and indestructible. This will kill the wolf. don't forget that. Kill the wolf with that. Dire Tactics again. Here, mono green we mentioned, gruul aggro, lots of different good spots for this one. Anything running creature-based decks, this is going to be fine. Banishing Light. So here, Banishing Light, it's an enchantment, enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent no opponent controls until Banishing Light leaves the battlefield. I do like this against Doom decks. I would only play this, though, if you have enough stuff on the board. So it's more of a timing issue, if you ask me. Otherwise, I like this against control decks. The mono red, big red, control, also mono black control. These things will help you hit Ugin. Lots of other things that you can hit there with this as well. I like this. Somewhat mid-range, but definitely you're not going to play this against aggro decks. So those are some good spots for you. Next we got Veto, Thorn of the Dusk Rose. So we already got 3 main board. Where would we want to play this? I would play this against rogue decks. You want to make sure that you're getting this guy at turn 3. That extra life gain, little pop, could make or break you. So that's one spot that I would play this. Dire Tactics would be good against rogue decks as well. Banishing Light might not be bad. Veto also works well against other aggro decks because a 1/3 body isn't bad, but again, that lifelink is going to be very, very important for us. Mid-range, probably not. Late game, probably not, because you already got 3 main boards, so that's kind of where I would think about that. And then last but not least, we have Draina, the Last Blood Sheaf. So we got a flyer here whenever, and so this is cool because we haven't played this one yet, so I'll spend a minute here. Whenever Draina, the Last Blood Sheaf attacks, defending player chooses, and this is on the attack, we get this trigger. Defending player chooses a non-legendary creature card in our graveyard. You may return that card to the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. Then that creature is a vampire in addition to its other types. So first off, we got a lot of legendaries here, everything here. So if we're only going to get a two drop back, where would I play this? I would play this against rogue decks. I would also play this against late game decks, to be honest. For things like Yorion, also the Doom decks, if you do have a lot of things going already, this isn't a bad one at the top end. Control decks, not a bad one at the top end again. Just gives us some other options to play with that I like. I would not play it against aggro necessarily. You could put it at the top end against aggro if you wanted. Same thing with mid-range. But again, it's going to be a little bit more situational. So Planeswalkers, that is the main board, that is the sideboard. We are now going to talk about how to sideboard, and we'll talk about it in terms of aggro, the mid-range, and the late game. So first off, aggro, like we said, I didn't mind Shadow Spear, definitely going to play Dire Tactics. You could consider Banishing Light, like I said, it could be a little slow. Veto you could consider. So let's do 6. So I'll say like 2 Dires, maybe 1 Shadow Spear, and maybe a Banishing Light or a Veto. So where would I kind of flip things up? Well, you guys know, like I said, I'm not real keen on the 22 lands. Even in best of 3, I'd still probably cut 2. So I would actually probably cut the Scoured Barrens. Even though the Scoured Barrens trigger's nice on Clerical Lifeblood, it's not going to quite get us to where we want to be. The other option that you could choose is actually Savai Triumph, because at least you'll get this trigger. You're not necessarily going to get the draw, but it is more helpful late game, but not necessarily early game. So maybe that's the other one that you could cut. So you could go 2 there, and then next we may want to consider. Again, we like these pieces here. I'm a little iffy in terms of all these legendaries. Where would I go then if we got 2? I would maybe go 1 here and drop 2 there, and that should give us 5. So that pushes the curve down. I like this, getting this one back. I almost like Tabaraks better. So maybe 1 there and 2 there, and that gives us 5 with the lands. Or you could go 2, 3 and 1, or 2 and 1 there, or drop 1 Veto. But if we're bringing in the Veto, then you're not going to go that route. So that's kind of how I would think about that. Light of Hope's still good because of the +1/+1. If they do have some form of enchantments like Annex or something like that, this is also still going to be very helpful for you. Then when we talk about the mid-range, we got things like the Sultai mid-range, we got Selesnya Adventures, we have the Rakdos mid-range, lots of things in this space. Again, I said you could slightly consider this one mid-range, you can consider mono white, so it just really depends on the pace of the game. What would I play? Maybe a Banishing Light, maybe a Dire Tactics if they're not heavy. I would play maybe 1 or 2 Shadow Spears, maybe even a Drana there. So let's go 4 to 6 again. Where would I consider cutting? I like these things early game, so I probably leave these. If they're not running creatures, though, then you can get rid of Feed the Swarm. If they have enchantments, then they're going to want to keep this. Light of Hope is another spot that you can consider again. If they're not running enchantments, you might not want to run those. So that could give us 7, and you could bring in more of the creatures and more of these other things like Banishing Light. And then again, where I would look to maybe is 1 or 2 here. You could bring in Dranas and those kinds of things. So that's a good take for us. Next, in terms of the late game decks, these are things like Yorion, the Esper Doom, anything Doom deck, could be the control decks, Dimir Control. It could be Yorion Dimir Control that we've just done. You guys should check that one out. Very, very popular deck right now. It could be Big Red. It could be Mono Black Control, those kinds of things. I would run Dire only against Mono Red Control. If not, I would, again, this is get things like Ox off the board and some other stuff so that you don't have to worry about them again later. You could consider Shadow Spear. Definitely probably Banishing Lights, to be honest, and then maybe Dranas. So let's go 6, 7. Again, I would look towards Light of Hope if they're not running enchantments. Definitely probably going to get rid of Feed the Swarm. And then again, similar mix-up, maybe even 1 or 2 lands. In terms of this top end, maybe I would even consider dropping Veto over Taverax here, because the flyer is going to be nice. And going maybe 1 here, then maybe 1 there. That gives us 6, plus 2 lands gives us 8. So lots of good spots there for us to kind of play this particular deck. So Planeswalkers, that was the main board. That was the sideboard. We talked about how to mix things up in terms of a best of 3 match between an aggro, mid-range, and a late game deck. If you do have questions or comments, let me know down below. I'm happy to help. And then additionally, in the description is the Discord. You guys can jump in there. And I forgot to mention, the deck list is down below in the description, and the deck link is down below in the description as well. So at this point, we are going to go hop in and play some, we're going to save changes, play some competitive Magic here. I think I'm like 96%, potentially. There's my mono white life gain deck you guys should check out. So still moving here, which is pretty exciting with a few days left. And we are doing just fine. All right, 97%. There we go. Planeswalkers, before we play Cassio here, I just want to say thank you. As always, I do appreciate your support. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel. You can do that down over there. Additionally, like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Stay up to date on daily videos like this. Yes, I can see you. I'm going to keep this. So we're probably going to play a Rogues deck, which is just fine. No, Planeswalkers, additionally, other ways, as I mentioned, you have available to you to support the channel down below. So please feel free to do that by becoming things like a patron. We're hopping in the Discord channel as well. We are going to play the Lifespawn first. Not going to have the counter. They're not going to be able to kill it yet. And we'll be able to get to Aura here. Alright, so now, train of thought, we are back. Ooh, so it's a mill deck. Alright, I like that. I like losing 3 lands in a row. You have no idea. So depending on what they play here, we could either go Aura or we can double up. And we got Agadeems too, so which is powerful. So let's see what they play. If we get Aura in here, so we'll potentially get 2 off here. We'll see if they got it their counter. There it is. So there's the first one. So I'm going to bank that they play a rogue here. Oh, maybe not. So we'll try this guy first. So heavy control deck that we got going on here. Dimir control. Interesting, interesting. So we'll get our 3. So we'll do this. So there's the rogue. So they can do Luris and play Luris, same turn if they want it. So we're running out of juice. So things that you could do on the deck, you could add the castles if you wanted. Those would help you in terms of the matchup as well. And then you could also run, the, that's too bad. Let's see if they pop something in there. You could also run the Death Dwellers to pull back too, which would be really strong in this particular one. So we can do 3, but we don't have a 1-drop yet, which is a problem. And they kept enough for a counter. So that was helpful. They kept enough for a counter, so we'll wait. So they'll still have enough for them. So they'll have their 3. And now, because it's more late game and we don't have good late game answers, we're actually going to be in trouble. But we'll try it. Go 2, we'll go 3, and 4. So if we don't get this off, I'm sure they have a counter though. Let's see, there you go. But I think we may still have an Agadeem's left. So we got 1 down. What did we add? Nope. Okay. So here we gotta put the counter on them. So they don't die, but they probably got a counter. Oh, well played, well played. All right, we're out of here. We'll give it to him. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but it's a nice deck. They've added more counters in their rogue matchup. Worked well against our deck. We didn't hit the juice that we needed, unfortunately, but that is how it goes, my friends. Ooh, give me a second. Alright, there we go. I was seeing some gold going on there, and I realized I have some balloons. So, anyway. Alright, here we go into our next best of one matchup here, my friends. So let's see how this one goes. Currently, our first match, we gotta see some of the stuff. We gotta see a couple of things. Didn't really get moving though, which is too bad, but that is the way it goes. So we go first. I will keep this because I can double up on the Cleric of Life's Bond. We got a later game card. We got Feed the Swarm. We have Light of Hope, which we can trigger counters on both of the Clerics or destroy an enchantment. So let's see what they're going to play. Kylan. Silence first. We can get rid of that. There we go. Let's try. Alright, we need some life. And by life, I mean lands. There we go. So let's do this. Is it during time each turn? Each turn. This doesn't destroy artifact either. So what we're gonna do here is on their turn we'll cast Light of Hope and we'll gain 4. So those guys will get much, much bigger. Each turn. Little trick with Light of Hope here. So we'll see if we can get away with it. Oh, we got away with it. Boom. We got some big baddies, my friends. Some big baddies now. Swinging in for 8. Ooh, 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 ooh. We'll go like this. We got Feed the Swarm to take anything off next turn. So even if they pull Veto, we got Feed the Swarm, we got Lethal on the board. This is going to be really hard for them, even with Questing Beast. So I think, I shouldn't get too excited here, but I think we're in the clear. I think we're in the clear here. So we will do this. We can save our Feed the Swarm. And we'll swing with both. They're gonna lose their board. Keep it. Not bad. So I kept Feed the Swarm. We got game anyway with Aura. Woo! There we go. So that was a nasty, nasty case of the Orzhov Clerics there, my friends. So back to 97 we go. We're going to go into best of 3 now. So pretty excited about this deck. Worked out well in the best of 1. Let's go ahead and check out our traditional standard rank. There's the mono red deck you guys should check out. Super powerful. Love that one big mono red player. Here we go now for Orzhov Clerics, my friends, for today's video. Quickly, as always, before we decide what's going to happen against Ninjor here, just want to say thank you, Planeswalkers. I appreciate your support. Please feel free to subscribe down over there. Additionally, like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Stay up to date on content like this. For these daily videos, I'm going to keep this. We'll slow play, I guess, or turn 1. And then additionally, as I have mentioned before, do I want to keep that? We got 4 though. I think we do this. Other ways to support the channel down below. You can hop in the Discord or become a patron. Like I said, running this little intro thing where you get a chance at winning a MTG Arena sleeve, my friends. All right. So we got a teamer. Oh no, Orzhov looking thing going on here. So generally speaking now, let's see what they got going on. Not Orzhov, sorry, Abzan. So they got the Abzan deck that they are running. I don't think they're going to run to get rid of everything. So it's gonna get real nasty next turn, which is nice. So they certainly are gonna get a lot going on here. So we'll do this. We're gonna look. Keep veto. Now they may be running some control stuff, so I'm gonna be careful here. Here's our QB. Not super worried about that yet. I'm gonna save Light of Hope still. So this is gonna hurt. We gain 1 life, so we can do this as well. We'll keep sinking them. And we'll just keep the triggers going here. So we pretty much have lethal next turn. Literally all we need to do is tack in with our clerics and pop vetoes. If we do that, as long as they don't have a board wiper here, we're good. Because they're going to lose just as much life. We don't even need to block. So we'll gain that 4 life. We'll pop all our clerics. And we can go to attack. This is going to be nasty. Oh, I wish we could have played it out. Okay, so what do we want to do here? Banishing Light's not terrible. Light of Hope I like on that play. Archfiend's Vessel I don't like as much, to be honest. We haven't played it yet. It hasn't worked well. I don't like it with Agadeems. I'm gonna drop 2 Scourds. Well, I like Scoured better than Triome. This Dire Tactics is going to be what we need here. Is all creatures. I want 2 Dranas. I'm going to drop 1 Aura and 1 Tab and add 2 Shadow Spears. Additionally, Feed the Swarm's really nice here. I'm just thinking, I think this is okay. Banishing Light, though, if they're running Great Henge, we didn't see it. If they run Great Henge, we're going to flip that in. Veto worked great in here. I'm going to keep this at this right now. We have to be careful, though. Drana might not be valuable for us if they continue to run Skoos. So if they run Skoos, then it's not going to be worth our time. So then we'll have to rethink some of that too. We can keep this because I like that. That was just super nutty for us to hit 3 of those. Real nice. Agadeems isn't going to be helpful if we can't get some nice things here. So we'll see. I don't need that. We got 1 already. Take the risk here. That's fine. Let's do this. Could have hit that actually. Should have hit that. I played that too fast. I forgot that hits enchantments. So if I play Skoos here, I'm going to be a little upset, but we'll see. There you go. Feed the Swarm on Low Struck. It's gonna hurt. It's going to hurt big time. Unless we control, that's a Vampire Cleric. Unfortunately, so we will do this. We'll do that instead. That actually hurt us worse. You gotta pay a little bit more attention than I did there. I'm actually going to dump Veto here. So if they have Questing Beast, we're dead. If they don't, we're okay. So we'll see. Yeah, they wanted to get in front of that. So good news is we got this. And we got Drana. If we can get Drana on the board, we're going to be in a good spot. Ooh, here we go. Lesser converted mana. We will go Veto. Ooh. Power, toughness. That's gonna hurt. Converted mana cost. Ugh. 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 Painful. Guess we should have brought this one. We don't even have a human there. Worth it. Oh, at least we get to go first this time. So we didn't see the Skoos. We can keep that. I'm gonna drop a Shadow Spear. What do we want here instead? Drana's fine. I like my flyer. Let's keep it like that. Alright, let's try it again. Ugh. Close, but no cigar, my friends. Banishing Light wouldn't be bad still in this deck. But now we know that they're running the direct kills. We still have enough stuff to pull back from the graveyard. Just did not work out. So the other thing we lose with the 1/1 out is that ability to hit with the exile. But we did not get any life gain in there either. Oh. I'm actually going to keep this too, because I have this guy. So we'll see. We'll hope we can hit what we need to, and we'll go from there. Yeah, we got Agadeems. Go. Give us a creature, lots of lands. Lots of lands. That's okay. I will play this. So we will exile, well, we're not going to exile a creature. We'll play this guy first. So now, so now is a tough decision because we can exile. We're gonna lose our graveyard. Actually, I'm gonna do this because the other ones are at instant speed. I'll let them get there. Actually, I'm gonna play it. See if I get Durant. I'll get that guy on first. That is unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. We should have maybe mulliganed at the beginning. But we'll see. It just takes one card to turn this around. Oh, we would get flooded. We would get flooded. Considering pulling the edge roll off there, but I'll take the 3. They should get rid of their own guard. That won't do it. Oh, come on. Just my day when it comes to Magic. So many lands. And I cut lands. I should have absolutely mulliganed, my friends. So the only thing that I can do here is if I get Orzhov. Well, this will keep me alive for 1 turn. Maybe. Unless I get a kill spell here. Alright, good game. That is absolutely unfortunate. Very, very, very unfortunate. So, not bad though. Just bad play in terms of the deck that we had played. Well, not bad play in terms of the deck that we played, but the draws that we had. We got absolutely flooded on the last game, my friends. So that was too bad, unfortunate, and I cut those lands. So that is the way Magic goes. But we did get to see almost everything in the deck. So let's go ahead and check that out. Here we go, our Orzhov Clerics deck. Very fun nonetheless. We split best of 1. We went 1-2 in best of 3. I really think we could have absolutely won that match and definitely should have, in my opinion, but just did not work out. That's the way it goes. So with that said, here's what we got going on. Planeswalkers, again, deck list is available for you down below in the description, so you have access to it right away. Additionally, links down there for you. Worked out really well. I'd still probably change up a couple things in the sideboard. I'd probably change up some things here. Like I said, I'd had some of those castles. If we would have had Ardenvale in there, getting a 1-1 definitely could have made a difference in that last game. So things just to consider and think about, but I really, really like this. Ran very smooth. We got to see all those clerics. That stuff just unloads so fast. Maybe keeping Archfiend would have been a better play for us too. Just things to think about, Planeswalkers, but really, really enjoyed the deck. Again, Ways to support the channel down below in the description, like becoming a patron. Please feel free to support. I always appreciate it by subscribing to the channel down over there. Additionally, like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Stay up to date on content like this and daily videos, Planeswalkers. If you got questions, like I said, comments about the gameplay, let me know down below. You can tell me that maybe I could have played differently, even though I got flooded there in the last match. But hey, that's the way it goes. You stay safe, Planeswalkers. We'll see you again soon. Stay tuned. A lot more things coming your way. All right, Mythras out. Take care.